Hey guys, I'm live. I know I'm about 38 minutes early, but I'm going to be doing the show solo today, and I have been feeling under the weather the last few days. So I just got out of the shower. I have a little energy. I said, you know what? Let me get it out of the way before I sit back down on the couch and wait and get lazy or just not feel well. So here we are. I'm going to be talking about episode 2 of Moon Knight. Spoilers, obviously. I'm going to go over it. If anybody's here in the chat, that's great. If not, you guys can always watch this later on. Stay tuned. Yeah, so I hate sneaking this episode in. Again, I had it scheduled. I actually had it scheduled for yesterday. Kitty wasn't feeling well. I still wasn't feeling well. I've been sick the whole week. The only silver lining is it's not COVID. So I guess I don't know, whatever it is I have, but I haven't been feeling well. I'm still a little congested, but supposed to do it yesterday, pushed it back. I didn't want to keep pushing it, so I figured let me just come on and do a show really quick. So if anybody does come in the live chat, that's great. If not, like I said, you guys can watch this later on. So let's get into it. All right. So episode 2, we get a lot. I think we get actually a good amount of things. We get Layla, which is great. We finally get Layla after hearing her voice on the phone in episode 1. We get that interaction, and obviously she doesn't believe Mark when he has the Steven persona. And she's like, okay, you don't have to do that. We're not being followed anymore, or what's going on? And she doesn't believe him for almost the whole episode. And I think until the very end, she realizes, okay, he's not playing any games. He really thinks he's Steven. To the point where we get him, summoning the suit, which I thought was funny. But we get Layla. We get a little bit more of Arthur's backstory. The fact that he actually did have, or once was the avatar for Khonshu, like Mark is. So I thought that was actually kind of cool. Um, and just the back and forth between him and Steven. The fact that he's basically telling Steven word for word what Khonshu is telling him. He's like, he's telling you to kill me, isn't he? I did like that. And also fast forwarding, I did like, I know they changed it from what it is in the comics. All right. We all knew we were going to get the third persona. We know it's Jake Lockley, for those of you who do know for reading the comics or know more about Moon Knight's backstory. And we know in the comics, Jake Lockley actually has the persona of Mr. Knight. So when we get it that it's still Steven, I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool. He doesn't know what to do. They're telling him to summon the suit. And in Steven's mind, that's what a suit was. It was just a literal suit, which was cool. But they did do it the right way. They did the whole rolling up the sleeves thing. And I didn't think it was too jokey. I thought it was really good. I like the fact that we didn't know as an audience until like the very last minute if this was all still in Steven's mind because you couldn't see anything. And look, we saw on the video footage in the museum that whole night where he was attacked by the jackal. We didn't see anything on the video footage. And then again, he's being chased, and Layla's like, "What are you talking about? I don't see anything." But then you see whatever it was lifting Layla up as well, and you saw her, attack it with the glass bottle and whatever liquid was in that bottle. You saw it kind of like form whatever it was. So we finally get that where it's like, okay, it's not in his head; it really is happening. And then of course he gives up possession to Mark by the end of the series, the end of the episode, and we get Moon Knight again, and we get a little bit more of him. And I thought that scene where he takes the jackal and just like comes down on that church steeple, whatever it was, whatever spike it was. I thought that was really cool. And great visuals. You have the crescent moon in the background. I thought that was really cool. We got to see more of Khonshu and the back and forth. It seems like he kind of wants Layla. I think that was the whole big thing with, Mark and why he was trying to distance himself from Layla. So we got more of that backstory. I'm wondering though, and let me know if you think of this in the comics now, in the comments. Now, I really don't know much, and I've said this before. I didn't know much about Moon Knight. I didn't read the comics, so I don't know the storylines. But going back and reading, some of the origin story, how Mark, gets left for dead and, crawls to the statue of Khonshu, whatever it is. But in the comics, the villain was, I think, Bushmaster or something like that, right? And his girlfriend or love interest in the comics was Marlene, I believe. And Marlene's father, I think, was the archaeologist, the doctor who gets killed. And I think it was Bushmaster that does it. But in this show, it was said that remember when he gets arrested and it was talked about some archaeologist or some doctor was had his hands tied behind his back and shot execution style in the back of the head. I'm wondering if they're making Arthur and they're fusing Arthur's because Arthur Harrow in the comics was like I think a one episode or one issue villain. I don't even think he was a main character. So I'm wondering if they're fusing Bushmaster and Arthur Harrow's together, and it's going to be that Arthur is the one that killed now Layla's father. And that's why Layla and Mark were on the run and they went on these missions together. So I'm wondering, and that's how she knows who he is and she knows about the suit. So I'm wondering if we're going to get that reveal that, and that's why maybe Arthur knows, because remember in the first episode, when he's in the village and he tells everybody to basically kneel in that other language, and Mark was the only one standing. If I'm remembering correctly, he immediately calls him a mercenary. So I think he knows Mark's face I think he knows his face. And then when Mark was telling him that he's Steven and he's got this whole other persona, Arthur knows what's going on. So I'm wondering if that's what we're going to get with that character. But I do like the fact that we got more of him. I like the dialogue between the two of them. I like the whole thing with Steven, being against killing a child for something that they may do 30 years from now. I thought that was a really good point. A lot of that had brought Minority Report vibes. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise, but that was the whole thing with Minority Report. It was like these cognizants, who would basically, through their visions, report a crime that didn't happen yet. And it was up to the Minority Report police to figure out when it's supposed to happen before it happens. So I just a lot of that. It was a little bit of that nature in this, but yeah. So and then, like I said, and then at the very end, it looks like Mark is in control with Steven now pushing aside. But I'm wondering now how they're going to introduce the character of Jake if they haven't done so already. Now, I did watch a couple of breakdowns and a couple of theory videos on when we might get him or if we did already. And some theories are that when we see that cutscene at the very end, where they wake up and you see that they're in Egypt, when they pull the shades or the curtain or the drape across away, that might actually be Jake, and that might be the persona of Jake. So I don't know. I do not know when we're going to get Jake, especially now that we know that Steven is the one that summoned Mr. Knight's suit. So it's no longer going to be Jake that's Mr. Knight. So I'm just wondering how they are going to infuse this third persona and what we're going to get from it. So I am interested. And I remember talking to my brother about this, which wouldn't make any sense if they would have done it. But I know, or at least I think I know, that in the comics, I know Jake drives a cab, but I think it said that he has a mustache. Now, unless the only way that would work, because obviously Mark and Steven don't, unless in his persona, in his visual of himself, he has a mustache, so he sees it in himself, but nobody else does, if that makes any sense. Because how do you have a character that has a mustache, but it's just a third personality of an actual character that doesn't have a mustache, doesn't have facial hair? So I just don't know how that would work on the big screen or on the TV screen. But the only way I think that would work is if that's just the way he identifies, is that character in the mirror has a mustache. So I'm intrigued. I can't wait to get episode 3. I think the series so far has been paced very well. It's not too jokey. It's got some brutal scenes. Like I said, that scene where he kills the jackal and he comes down and basically kills it by piercing it through whatever that was. I thought that was kind of cool. But I do want to see more of Arthur Harrow. Obviously, he has power, in that spear or whatever, that cane. Sorry. So he was able to summon that jackal. So, and the fact that he was an avatar for Khonshu and wants more now from, God, the female god is her name is eluding me, so I can't really think of it. I don't think it's Amit. Amit, I honestly I can't remember, but I know he wants to summon that because she's the one that justifies or you know, kills the guilty before they're the guilty. Whereas Khonshu punishes the guilty for what they've already done, where it's already too late because the act was already done. So I get that. I get that, but from Steven's point of view, the other way around that is, well, how do you justify killing a child? You know, because like Steven said, and it's true. And that also came up in Minority Report. How do you differentiate between having the thought of doing something like, you know, like wanting to kill your boss or, you know, wanting to do this? You know, you're not really going to do it. It's just a thought in your mind. So how does one differentiate between the actual act and the wanting of, you know? But I don't know. That's a whole other topic for a whole other day. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to keep this short. So let me know what you thought of this episode. I think the series is going really well. I think the first episode was very good. Probably, again, I would have to rewatch every single series that Disney Plus has put out so far. You know, I know it hasn't been that many, but it's still a good amount. But I'm pretty sure I think this had the first episode was the best in this series compared to the others. And I am really liking this episode. I mean, this series. So that's why I'm can't wait for episode 3. But guys, let me know what you thought in the comments below. I will be on at one point the end of the week, maybe next weekend, for episode 3 spoiler review. I just got to see when I can do it because I got some things coming up. So I'm going to try to fit it around my schedule. But guys, yeah, enjoy your Sunday. If you practice Palm Sunday, if you believe in Palm Sunday, happy Palm Sunday. It is Palm Sunday for us Catholics. So yeah, guys, enjoy your day, and I'll see everybody really soon.